There are 4 types of lines to choose from when foiling. First is horizontal, which builds weight, gives width. Think of this as a heavy color result with a hard grow out line. Next is vertical, which runs perpendicular to the horizon. This gives illusion of length and appears as lines of ribbons. Then we have diagonal backward and diagonal forward, which moves either towards the face or towards the nape. This gives a blended, soft result with an easy grow out. Whatever technique you choose, don't forget that saturation is the key to lightening the hair when you are lifting, and your subsection should be no thicker than 1/4 inch from maximum even saturation. I will be working horizontally for this video. This first technique is what we call baby lights. It is a soft, blended, fine weave, great for that client that wants minimum upkeep. They want a soft, angelic, bright look. Make sure you keep that subsection very, very thin, so thin that you could read a piece of paper through it. Saturate your lightener all the way up to the end of the foil and make sure you overlap that foil to avoid any slipping. This next technique is a slice. This is going to give you maximum coverage for the client that wants to see dimension. Throw a couple slices back to back on one another, then you get that classic chunky 2000s zebra stripe look. Slices are great for that client that wants overall maximum coverage. They are not afraid to come into the salon often to keep that look up. And it's a time saver for you, the stylist, as well. Slices typically tend to be a lot faster, so therefore your time management will be faster as well, and you can hopefully get more clients on your books. Up next is TZ lights. TZ lights are great because they create blended dimension. That tease acts as a barrier, so when you comb it back down, it diffuses any hard lines. So if you're working with fine to medium hair that's soft, you may have to tease the section 2 or 3 times. If the hair is textured and thicker, typically 1 good tease will do, but you're going to pate your lightener right up to that line of teasing and slightly going into that line. You don't want to go too far past that line because then you will have splotches, but notice how I flip brush vertically. That way I can go against the grain and work that product up for a softer line, very diffused. Fantastic technique to do, especially between the foils if you're going to do a tip out technique. Now I'm going to do diagonal forward sections. A diagonal forward line moves towards the chin. So the highest point is behind and the lowest point is coming towards the chin. This is great for a client who wears their hair down often and towards their face as it moves with the head's natural shape. I like to incorporate diagonal forwards and diagonal backwards in my technique in order to draw the eye into certain directions and to give them that soft result when they wear their hair up or down. Next is a diagonal back slice. Diagonal backs are probably one of my personal favorite techniques to do because they follow the natural shape of the hairline. This moves towards the nape. So the highest point is in the front of the head to the lower point towards the nape. Great for that client who wears their hair up and away from their face to avoid seeing that hard line of demarcation when it grows out. Up next is a foliage. This technique mimics balayage as it is essentially balayage but inside a foil, because when you do balayage in open air, there's only so much it will lift. Slipping this foil behind it is going to act as a heat conduit and give it that little extra level of lift that we need. So we are still going to apply it like a balayage, your classic V, where you go higher on the outsides working your way up towards the root of the head. And I'm just softly blending away any lines for a very blended result. Still very dimensional, but not too harsh. This next technique is your classic fine to medium weave. Weaves are also called stitches. So what you notice is that the sections between each weave piece are symmetrical. So you really want to ensure that everything lines up. The finer the weave, the more natural coverage you get. The chunkier the weave, the more bolder dimension you will get. And last, we have a chunky textured weave, specifically beneficial for clients that have curly to textured hair, as you can see the bold dimension within the hair texture. And that wraps up our 8 different foiling techniques to help take your foiling game to the next level. Don't forget, keep your subsections thin, 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch for even saturation, so you don't end up with any spots. And here are the final side-by-side looks. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day.